Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
From beautiful Sarasota, Florida, we are welcoming back Kerry Tice here. He's the owner of CircuSoul Yoga, full-service yoga studio, and so much more. This amazing training facility provides a wide variety of classes and different training programs. And today, I'm honored to have you back here with our special guest, Jocelyn. Hello.
Hi, how are you? Thank you. We're so happy to be here.
Oh, Kerry, just please give us a little introduction to who you are, what you do, and we're looking forward for today's show.
My name's Kerry Tice, and I'm the owner and director here at CircuSoul Yoga. So I take care of everything from operations down to teaching classes, but a big part of what I do is create new material for us to be used in trainings. So I'm always creating new content. And today we're actually going to dive into something that I'm extremely passionate about, something that I've been practicing for about 10 years, which is Vedic Thai yoga.
Vedic Thai yoga. Thank you, because I did need help with that pronunciation. So can you tell us how you got started doing this?
Absolutely. I actually started doing this about, it was 11 years ago. I went and took my first workshop. It was a partner yoga and Thai massage workshop. And I was, super excited to come and just check out something new. And in the middle of, one of these little moves, it's called the mountain goat perch. I fell in love, right? I just was like, this is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
And I've been practicing and studying for the last 10 years. And I've actually had the opportunity to go study traditional Thai massage in Thailand in October 2019.
Wow. Now, can you tell us exactly what it is? I've heard of yoga. I know there's different forms, but I've never heard of a Vedic Thai yoga until today. So could you enlighten me and enlighten our listeners?
Absolutely. I want to tell you a little bit about it. Then I'm just going to actually start practicing. I'm going to show you what it is, because, I can talk for the entire length of the program, but really kind of showing you some of the moves is going to be the best thing that we can do. But Vedic Thai yoga is actually, it was a program that's been put together by my teacher, Michael Muktibuk, and he actually founded the Vedic Conservatory in 1989. When I was only 4 years old. So it's a combination of stretches, of a lot of what we call traditional Thai massage, but it's also been evolved from that. So many of the moves that we do are really traditional Thai massage, but a lot of the things that we incorporate are from other modalities.
Mm-hmm.
So Vedic is really more of an umbrella that yoga lies underneath of, Ayurveda lies underneath of,
Okay.
and of course, Thai massage would as well.
Great.
So the practitioner is usually laying on their back, just like so. And this is a futon. So it's like a 3-inch futon. So it's super comfortable.
Okay.
And the entire session actually happens down low. So I don't really stand up very much. I'm usually kneeling or working through. And so we actually work on what we call sen lines. They're actually the in Chinese medicine, they call them meridians.
Yep. Okay. Heard of that.
Yeah, it's where the in Chinese medicine they call it qi, and in what we do they call it prana, right? Which is that universal life energy that flows through the body. We convert that when we eat food, and it changes over into that energy. But it's also what we breathe in through pranayama, which is breathing. So all of these different meridians, you can't see them, of course, right? They are invisible. But they are there, and the treatment actually works to clear any sort of stagnations that are in these meridians. And when we have stagnations in these meridians or sen lines, they can create all kinds of chaos, including mental health disorders, pain. You can have literally anything that you could look up in a standard Western book. You're going to find treatments in traditional Thai massage or Vedic Thai that are going to be able to help with these things. So we're actually going to just do like a little opening series where we start to put some pressure on the ankles. And this is literally, it's a deep tissue, but that's actually really not the main focus of it, is actually on the energy.
Okay.
And so we work to actually clear these blockages, clear these incongruencies.
Mhm.
And all the while we're working to restore what we call primordial resonance, which
Okay.
is really the intelligence of the body and its ability to return to homeostasis and to return to a healthy state. So the cells are infinitely intelligent, and sometimes they need a little kind of kickstart, so a little jump start to remind them of their job,
Yeah.
of what exactly they're supposed to be doing. So we can work these and have just absolutely amazing results.
Great.
So we're working down these send lines that are in the front of the body. In traditional Chinese medicine, this is probably going to be stomach or spleen meridian. And these are just these energy lines that every single energy line actually coordinates with a different organ. And the organs in the Western 12 system, they have very specific functions. Like, of course, the liver is going to create the different chemicals so that you're able to digest and you're able to work the sugar supply in the body. But the liver is also very important energetically in the system for send lines, that it actually processes anger. And so each of the different organs have a particular emotion that they process and that they work on. And in this format, all disease begins as a vibration, or all disease begins as an emotion. So a lot of times we get these things stuck in our body, and that's what becomes later a bigger problem, right? Maybe we have pain in there. It could even become cancer. So there are so many benefits to this practice.
Ooh.
So you can see it looks a lot like massage, right? I'm working this palming technique, but many of the techniques are actually stretches. So Vedic Thai, or traditional Thai massage, is also known as a Nuad Baran, and that's the Thai name for it.
Okay.
Nuad Baran.
Thank you.
But I love to call it lazy man's yoga.
All right. That's in layman's terms. Got it. Okay. Good.
Right? Because
Uh-huh.
the practitioner receives the yoga and we go through these different moves, but they don't have to do anything, right? They just have to
Got it.
show up
Just
and and be
present.
ready for it and be present for it. So this is a traditional technique called figure 4, or reclined pigeon pose. And it actually affects the outside of the hip, the IT band, and the buttocks. And this is just a really great technique because this gets really, really tight in people, especially people who stand a lot, who sit a lot, and those who are super active, like runners. So we can come in and actually stretch this area. She's very, very limber. So most people are not going to look quite like this. They're going to actually stop probably about right here, but we're actually stretching this tissue in this area. But more importantly, we're activating the different marma points that are in there. And through doing so, we're clearing and we're bringing new prana, new oxygen, all of those things that the body needs.
Mm-hmm.
So we can work through all the different parts of the body. And what I love about this is that I mostly don't really use my hands. Of course, my hands are there. I've got a lot of technique for them, but I love the techniques that use my feet, right?
Okay.
So this is called iliotibial compressions, and I'm using the sole of my foot to actually create this compression. You can see my foot is hooked underneath of her knee, and I'm actually using my foot. So I'm sitting upright, working my feet here, which my feet don't get tired, right? They are designed to go for the long haul.
That's what we do
so
with
we can
them.
really work these techniques where I can get into some people that maybe my hands just really wouldn't be able to work into that area, because my hands are either not strong enough or maybe they're just really super strong. So we've got all these different techniques to really work into the different parts of the body. So you'll see, I'm kneeling, I'm squatting, I'm working my own. A really good practitioner of Thai yoga actually gets their own yoga
workout or Yep.
Yep. So this is another technique where we internally rotate the leg, and we're able to get this little section of the IT band that shares with the quadricep, right? The quadriceps are what straighten the knee. So this area tends to get super, super tight in people, like almost like stupid, what I call stupid tight,
Yeah.
right? Where it's like, just like, how is this area so tight? So we can work through here and just in this really kind of kind way, work through these tightness and these different pieces inside of the fascia.
Beautiful. Now, what are the major differences, would you say, then, with traditional Thai massage than with this technique? Could you elaborate on that a little further?
Absolutely. So traditional Thai massage actually originated in India.
Okay.
And it's hard to really put an exact location because it lies under that Vedic umbrella. And so you can find books dating back to 2,500 years ago. This stuff has been around forever. So it wasn't founded in just one place. Also in Tibet, in Thailand, in Sri Lanka, Cambodia, Laos, right? All these areas around Thailand. But it was really in Thailand that things kind of really got going and got kind of proliferated, right? People travel from all over the world to go to Thailand just to study this, right? To go in and receive these treatments and to be able to learn the different techniques. So I would say the main difference between traditional Thai massage and what we do in the Vedic conservatory is that we have techniques that are from many different modalities, right? So my teacher has been studying for almost 40 years and has been practicing and teaching. So he brings in techniques from Tui Na, which is actually Chinese, from different foot techniques, which actually kind of originate in Japan and in China. So he has kind of put together a whole bunch of different pieces that have become what we call Vedic Thai. And it actually integrates a lot of spirituality. So before a traditional session, there's this time before we actually touch where I actually create the space. So it's what we call Y crew, which is actually a meditation, which can take literally a second, right? Or it could take about a minute. But what we do in this Y crew is we create a sacred space, not only in our own heart, but in the space that we're practicing in. And then most importantly, we call upon the lineage of teachers that have come before us. So of course, my teacher is going to be in that lineage and any of the other teachers that I've practiced with. So before even touching, there is a spiritual agreement between practitioner and giver that goes beyond this kind of verbal agreement, right? Is that we are here for the commonality of really creating more health in the system. And we have this kind of spiritual consent, if you like, before we even kind of get to anything else. So many of the things are very much the same, right? They do, they are based in traditional Thai massage, but it does kind of vary a bit and enough that I like to kind of be true to the origination of what it is I'm practicing, which is Vedic Thai.
Got it. And let me ask you, these classes are available via Zoom as well. These are also in person and virtual at this point?
My teacher actually does have CEUs that are available over the internet. But typically this is like an in-person training.
Okay. And
Yeah,
what technique are you doing right now? What is that?
This is, right now this is, so this is actually stretching her arm and her deltoid right up here in the shoulder area. This area tends to get really tight, right? Especially we're on the computer all day, we have stress. I love this one because I am not working hard, right? I'm literally kind of super chill and I am creating a lot of stretch, a lot of leverage here, and I'm not working hard, right? And she's not working either, right? You can see her head starts to come up and we start to just kind of stretch the little different parts of the fascia, and we're able to really create a lot of release in this area. I just love these longer held type of things where I just hold on and pull, which is,
Yeah.
seems like pretty basic, but the results are just fantastic.
And how long typically would one of these Vedic Thai yoga sessions last?
So a Vedic Thai session is usually about 90 minutes to 2 hours. An hour is good. We can do an hour, but what I find is that you can't get to the whole body and you really don't have a full session. So we do a session is I like to book for 2 hours, right? An hour and a half is pretty good. But typically if you're going to like go and learn this, it's going to be like your first course is usually going to be about a 3-day course.
Yeah.
We offer 3 days and 5-day courses here at the studio. So our next training is a 5-day, which we're actually going to do 2 days on table. So they have they call table Thai, which is like a traditional massage. It's done on a table, but we've taken many of the techniques from Thai massage and we've converted them to be able to be used on a table. So our next training will be 2 days on the table and then 3 days on the futon. And that's October 27th through the 31st, right here in this beautiful studio. So we're going to learn a lot of these different techniques. I love doing hand stuff because it feels amazing. So these are different techniques to just get into the hands. And it is amazing to see how much somebody relaxes once you start working on their hands, right? It's like you didn't even know that the hands could feel so bad or so good. And you start rubbing them and you're like, oh my God, this is absolutely divine. So I tend to finish my sessions with the hands, right? I work over whatever I'm going to work, and then I'll come in here and work the hands at the end. And so you just leave feeling super refreshed. And who can't use a little hand massage? So there's so many different amazing techniques. And this is what we call supine, right? Where they're laying on their back. And I'm getting ready to show you another position because they're actually what we call attitudes. That's what my teacher calls them. And there's lying on the back, lying on the belly, seated, right? And then side lying. And then the one my teacher never mentions is the acro one, where we go and fly upside down. So that's kind of my circus specialty. So we can just leave her right here. And then I'm going to show you how we get up.
Sure.
There's a transition to standing, or actually to her seated and me standing. And I just come on up and doop, doop, doop behind the knees. And then if you could reach up for me, perfect. Take a deep breath in. And then I just sit her right up. So she doesn't have to do anything but be there, right? And now I've got her seated. If you could face the camera, perfect. Awesome. And now I've got all of this available to me. So I can come in here and work her shoulders, work her spine. And this is just divine, right? You come in and get shoulder love like this. I'm actually supporting her with my knees behind her. So she is able to just be here while I work into a lot of this tension. I know she works on the computer, right? So I'm like, okay, we got to get into these shoulders and just work these different techniques. One of my favorite ones is it's a different kind of spinal twist. So I just love this one. It is a deep twist, but it's able to relieve tension in the chest and the upper back and the lower back. Take a breath in. And on the exhale, I take her into twist. We'll do this 3 times. One more time. Big breath in and twist. And then one more. And then sometimes we spontaneously get a little crack. No crack there. That's okay. We'll let it go.
Okay.
All right. And so we can come in and work all these different techniques where we're moving the spine in its different directions. We're, of course, working all the different sections of the body, but we're able to do this in such a way that I prefer this, right? If I get body work every week, I usually get a 90-minute body work. And this is what I would prefer because it feels good and we're able to go really deep. Take a breath in and exhale and breath in and breath out. Good. One more. You can see you probably want some of this, right?
Yes, I do. I'm craving it. You got me thinking about my hands.
If I were there, I'd be working on
Thank you.
but I had to come up with a workaround.
That sounds a beautiful subject.
Perfect. So I'm having her move onto her belly now.
Okay.
Where I have all of these other techniques that I can work on, right? Every single attitude has hundreds of different techniques. So it's just like this, like yoga, I can't get enough, right? I've been studying this for quite a while, and I haven't even scratched the surface. I can't wait to go back to Thailand and be able to study some more. I actually am a Vedic conservatory teacher, so I've put in over 250 hours into the program.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm actually able to share this with others. I'm able to do these trainings myself. And we integrate this as part of our yoga teacher training. So everybody that comes through to become a yoga instructor actually gets 2 days of this training.
Oh, good.
So they have an opportunity to really get exposed to something that is, really unique. But its popularity is growing immensely, right? There are just people looking for Vedic Thai all over the world. And so I'm going to show you the position that I fell in love with, because this is the mountain goat, and this is the mountain goat.
Mountain goat. Yep. Got it.
So the knees come right in here, what I call the thut, which is where the butt and the thigh meet. And then hands come right here on the sacrum. And this feels amazing, right? And I'm perching like a little mountain goat, right? And I sometimes have to go, bleh.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah. You're so cute.
We can work in getting into the spine and the muscles of the back, which tend to be very tight in everybody. And we're working with the breath. So this is very conscious, a very mindful practice. Not that traditional massage can't be this way, but typically it's not. The practitioner is not usually a spiritual person. They usually do not have a meditation practice. And that's kind of the biggest difference between like a sweetest massage. It's not the techniques, it's the mindset. It's this idea that we are a spirit, right? We are this spirit being in a physical body. And in Vedic Thai massage or Vedic Thai yoga, we actually really focus on that. We focus on the spirit, the spirituality, and there are all these different techniques, the meditation, and those pieces that play a vital role, a really, really important role when it comes to this practice versus just any other massage out there.
Got it. Well, that's amazing. I'm learning a lot. Our listeners are learning a lot. And for someone who's new to yoga, in a sense, I haven't done yoga in years, let alone this type of yoga. You're the expert here. I want to know about some of the ailments that people suffer from that this could really help them with. Could you explain some of that?
Absolutely. So this position that I'm in here right now, I can work on taking care of some major sciatica.
I've had that during my pregnancy. Yes.
Almost everybody has dealt with sciatica at some point, or they will. And what sciatica is really there's this nerve that comes through this area, right? It comes right near the piriformis, and it's called the sciatic nerve. And when the muscles or the fascia are tight, it gets compressed, and that compression can lead to all sorts of stuff, right? Low back pain radiating down the leg. It's not good, right? It is just not fun at all. But we're able to get in here in a really nice way and work this area, right? I'm able to get in here. I actually can feel that this area is actually pretty tight on her, and she could definitely use this relief here, where I can come in with my hands, right? I come in and kind of check and see what is going on. But I've also got this ability to come in and stand up, right? I can get the knife edge of my foot in there and just really, what my teacher says, raise some hell.
Yes. I feel it.
Right? It hurts so good, right? We can get right in there. And this would take, all kinds of strength on my thumb. Probably wouldn't even be that effective, but I'm able to put as much weight here as she can probably handle, and work through a tremendous amount of relief and stress. But Thai is really good for almost everything, right? And you said, hey, I haven't done yoga in a really long time. This would be a great place to start over, right? To be like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and take care of myself. So if you haven't been to yoga in a long time, or you've never been to yoga, you might think, okay, this could be my first session, right? Take some of these sessions and then start your practice, right? You're going to feel so good and more ready to get into all the stuff that's going to be in there. So I want to show you this really fun position. It is called the Cobra. And you've probably done the Cobra Pose in yoga class before. It's a really nice back bend. But the hard part is that you have to do it in yoga, right? You actually have to push yourself into it and work this. And in Thai, I can take my knees right in here. Go ahead and grab my hands and take a breath in. And on the exhale, I take her into the position, right? So she goes into her Cobra and she doesn't have to do anything at all, right? You can give her a little shimmy here, work her way down and bring her back down. So we're able to bring all of that benefit of doing Cobra Pose without actually having to physically do it, right? Your giver is the one that does that. I have another one I want to show because I just love these. And I love the exotic ones, right? They look really cool. So this is just another variation of the Cobra Pose. Okay. And I love this one because it's weird. I love weird stuff, right? Take a big breath in. And on the exhale, I take her into this variation that's going to get more into the front of the shoulder. Just really great. You might not be able to hear her, but she's moaning a little bit because it feels amazing.
Of course. Wow. Now,
we can get into the low back just by me simply trying to stay in the camera here. I can lift her legs here and get into the hip flexors, get into the back body in a way that just most things don't.
Wow.
So there are untold number of postures, and every session is going to be really kind of uniquely personalized to the receiver. So if they've got tightness in the hamstrings, which we all have tightness in the hamstrings, we can do this wonderful technique called Yanuka, right? And Yanuka really just means to push with your feet.
Okay, thank you.
I'm actually here, right? I've got her hamstrings underneath my feet, and I can get in and just walk kind of little like a mystic penguin walking down the hamstrings and get into this area in a way that I just wouldn't be able to without the power of my legs and my feet.
Beautiful. And by the way, I just want to remind everyone, CircuSoulYoga.com. Also on Instagram, I saw your latest post with the glow. What is that?
Oh my God, we had so much fun in the glow flow.
Yeah, that is awesome. You guys got to check that out. It's CircuSoul Yoga on Instagram as well. Your next glow flow is October 1st. Yes, that is super. I've never seen anyone do anything like that. Wow.
The glow flow is so fun. I thought it was all about like getting together and doing the flow and getting under the black lights, but I realized that glow flow is something so much more than that. What it really is doing is it's bringing our community together in a way that we don't really have a lot of interaction in the class because we're busy and we're ready to go. But like we have about an hour and a half to paint ourselves with black light paint. And through that, our community is able to actually interact and actually kind of talk with each other. And there's so much power in bringing your community together.
Beautiful. And we are just about out of time here. So how can we sum this up for today, Kerry? Again, CircuSoul.com is the website. And finish, of course, telling us what you're doing. And then we'll look forward to our next week's conversation too. So go ahead. So Jocelyn, how are you feeling, by the way?
Good. She's ready for a nap now, right?
Yeah.
But this is something that is for family, for friends. It's not just something that you can go and become, kind of a professional. This is something that is made to be shared with the world. So you can come with your partner, or you can come with a friend, or none at all. And then when you leave here, you're going to have a whole bunch of new friends, right? They are going to be ready to receive this amazing healing art that is just so powerful, so close to my heart. And I just love being able to share this with other people.
Beautiful. Kerry, remind us how we can get in touch with you, please.
Yes, you can get in touch with us at CircuSoul.com. That's CircuSoul.com.
Perfect. And don't forget social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you're everywhere as well. And you got a lot of followers. Awesome.
We're all over the place. Yeah, you can check us out on our Instagram, and our Instagram is CircuSoul Yoga. We post almost every day, and I like to post things so people can know what it is we really do, because
Perfect.
oftentimes you have no idea.
Yeah,
Unless you
you're
see a
right.
little
You gotta
photo, see
seeing
a
is
little
believing.
video,
Yep.
you can know exactly what you're getting into.
Great. Well, thank you again for your time, for being here. We appreciate it. Enjoy your day. And what do we say at the end of a session?
Namaste.
Namaste. Good. Thank you. Everyone else, please stay
Thank
tuned. More of
you.
the show is on the way. CircuSoul Yoga. Check him out. And thank you for Jocelyn for being an amazing subject too. Bye-bye.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.